Hey, look at me. I'm flying Shuttle Atlantis. How about that? With a brand new glass cockpit. That's right. Launched today, 22 years ago, from Kennedy Space Center, just 10 miles away from where we're coming to you on Stay Curious in the American Space Museum. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Marquette, your host and producer, and my co producer, Marty Winkle, is behind our Streamlabs computer setup here. And we've got a wonderful little show about two space shuttles launched on the same day, May 19th, that also landed on the same day, May 29th, but they were many years apart, 4 years apart actually. Those were STS-77 Endeavor and STS-101 Atlantis. So stay tuned with us and stay curious about these missions. This glass cockpit was certainly a cool thing. The first shuttle outfitted with it, and shuttle and Atlantis, not right now, over at the visitors center, just about 12 miles from where Marty and I are sitting, with that glass cockpit in place. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to have a little bit of space history here and talk about Shuttles of May. So glad you're with us on YouTube and Facebook. And please tell your friends to like, share, and follow us out there. But let's first get to our first picture. We want to thank Hyatt Place here, just about 4 miles from our museum. A wonderful place to stay. Right, it's one of the two closest hotels to Kennedy Visitors Complex in Cape Kennedy over there. They have a beautiful 5th floor viewing room that'll be packed here in about an hour as United Launch Alliance and an Atlas V rocket are going to launch the Starliner. Weather's a little bit iffy. I was talking to our good friend Carlton Bailey, who's a launch photographer. We're going to see a picture of Carlton's here in just a minute to talk about that. But you want a great place to stay, go to the Hyatt Place, beautiful hotel right on US 1 and 405 is the route. This is the entrance into Kennedy Visitors Complex. So thank you, Dana and manager Robert, for taking care of us. We're going to do some more events there we'll be telling you about. And we just wanted a little space history. You can't forget that 112 years ago, the world thought it might be coming to the end as Earth was passing through the tail of the famous Halley's Comet in 1910. And nobody knew what that was going to be like. In fact, they thought the comet's tails had something to do with fire and volatile materials instead of just the rock and innocent ice and minerals that they are. But they thought once we went through the tail that the Earth's atmosphere might ignite all the oxygen and we burned to death. So that's why Halley's Comet may snuff out life on Earth. And this was a real concern and a real media media, people were scared about it. It created a media sensation is what I'm trying to say. So also on this date in history, Apollo 10 was leaving the Earth about halfway to the moon with 3 veteran astronauts that were going to orbit the moon and then take not this lunar module that's in our museum, the 1962 early Grumman's Classic that we're so proud of here at our museum. They were going to take this version of it, the 1969 version of the lunar module, and Tom Stafford, General Stafford, still alive at age 92, lives here on the Space Coast, and the late Gene Cernan went down within 9 miles of the moon, a dress rehearsal, and boy, 53 years ago as a teenager, I was excited to be beyond belief because once we knew if this was successful, that Apollo 11 was going to try and land on the moon in July, and of course they did. Other bit of there, we have the Atlas rocket on the launch pad out there with the Starliner on top of it. It's got a little skirt up there. Carlton Bailey, thank you for sharing these photos with us. He took these yesterday when he went out to put his remote cameras out there for today's launch, and it has this skirt around it that looks unusual to everybody familiar with launches. We got some guests. We're encouraging them to come in and watch our Stay Curious program. Been pretty busy at the museum today as we are every launch day. But this skirt is to help with the aerodynamics of it going up on this Atlas V rocket. In our Cape Canaveral gallery, celebrates Atlas rockets as we create Pad 36 in that room, special gallery of ours. And so we're so proud that an Atlas rocket hopefully will put humans in space, as did the Atlas II rocket put our 4 Mercury astronauts, John Glenn, Scott Carpenter, Wally Schirra, and Gordon Cooper into Earth orbit. So the Atlas rocket still rocks as far as the human spaceflight is concerned. At least we hope it will be. This is not manned. I just wanted to clear that up. It's uncrewed. If it launches today at about 6:54 p.m., in about 24 hours, it'll be docking with the International Space Station. So fingers crossed, and we hope that everything goes well. Like I said, it's overcast, and there might be a wind issue, Carlton said, on the launch today. But I believe there is an open window tomorrow, about 30 or 40 minutes earlier, as the world turns, so to speak. Well, we want to talk about the Shuttles of May and feature 2 shuttles. Like I said, were launched today, May 19th, and also landed, each coincidentally, on May 29th. STS-77 launched on this date in space history. And at 6:30 in the morning, we'll see some pictures of that in a minute. But looking at our Shuttles of May here, and I'm looking for my chart in front of me. Well, we've got 10 shuttles were launched in the month of May. 5 of them were Atlantis, as we're going to feature Atlantis with the glass cockpit behind me, STS-101. 5 Atlantis, 2 Discovery, 3 Endeavor, but no launches for Columbia or Challenger in the month of May. And today we celebrate STS-77 with a crew of 6. This was, but we wanted to mention that other shuttles that we had in the air in the past, right now, we have STS-134 is in orbit, the last flight of Endeavor, orbital vehicle 105, with a crew of 7 in 2011 was in orbit. STS-84 in 1997 was docked with the Russian Mir space station. They were dropping off David Foale and picking up Jerry Leninger. Jerry Leninger survived a fire on the Mir, and Foale would survive a cargo ship crashing into the Mir space station. But we continued one more flight after that with Andy Thomas on the Mir space station. We also had in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shuttles orbiting the Earth right now. In 2009, STS-125, you see that in the middle there, was final service mission of the Hubble telescope. And STS-132 was taking Dexter, the robotic kind of EVA robot outside the space station. They were taking that up, and more supplies in 2010 for the Hubble, for the space station. So quite a lot going. 6 orbiting space shuttles on this date in history, May 19th, spread out from 96 to 2011 with the flight of Endeavor's Swan Song. Well, let's get to the flight in 1996, and let's see. I'll go this way. Old man, great friend Tom Usiak took these pictures in 1996. Hi, Tom. Thank you for helping the American Space Museum with your wonderful images. You and your brother Mark have certainly enhanced our Stay Curious shows. And these wonderful brothers that live in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, have bequeathed their photo library to us to do with what we want. So we may do calendars. We may put something on a mug from the Usiak brothers. You never know. Doubt if we use this picture, but it is a good picture of the crew of STS-77. In the front there is, of course, a wonderful, wonderful commander, John Casper. I say wonderful and unusual. He was one-time pilot, and then Casper, he was a pilot on STS-63 or 36, and then he was a 3-time commander. Usually you're a pilot twice and then you get to command the space shuttle. But he apparently had something extra because he went from pilot to commander on 3 missions. This was his last mission in space. STS-54 and 62 were previously there. And alongside him are Daniel Bursch, Mario Runco Jr., Mark Garneau, and Andy Thomas were on this mission there. And this is the typical coming from Houston, getting ready to go in a spaceship shot that all the launch photographers have a privilege to take out on the runway of the shuttle runway. So great shot there, Mark Usiak. Everybody's looking, actually Tom took that picture. Everybody's looking bright and bushy-tailed and ready to fly. And here is their crew portrait. Okay, that's John Casper sitting on the right, Dan Brown on the left. Dan was a 3-time pilot, and then I think twice or 3-time commander on there. That's Andy Thomas on the back row on the right, and I think that's Garneau on the far left. I know that that's Runco on the second from the left in the back. He has got some Indian heritage in him, I believe. And of course, the astronauts love to do a fun shot. And this, well, no, that's not their fun shot. I'll get to that in a minute here. I'm going to show you the shot of the that Tom took with a very special camera, a wide lux camera, single image film. This was a panoramic camera. Look at that beautiful shot, Marty. Excuse me, of your work grounds there at the press site. You didn't work out the press site. You worked in the launch control center there, the smaller building with the glass windows, and of course the vertical assembly building. And there it goes up in space. Another shuttle with that smoky trail of the solid rocket boosters there. And that was at what time in the morning? Let me consult the scroll here in my wonderful records. That's a 6:30 in the morning shot, right before sunrise. Okay, about the same time as sunrise. So the higher that got up, that could have given some nice smoke trails on there. This was the Space Lab 4, a mission focused on biotechnology. Let's look at another beautiful shot of Tom Usiak there. That's taken from one of his remote cameras. It doesn't look like a Hasselblad, Tom, because it's not a square format there. So he must have been training with one of them Canon cameras out there, because I'm a Nikon man, and they use those Canons, Marty, to train with. You know that, don't you? Marty's writing down a few names that he's going to give you. We surely appreciate everybody watching our program today. And like I said, this STS-77 crew was plumb eat up with Star Trek, okay? This is, I believe, Star Trek Voyager outfits they have on there. And Runco with the Vulcan salute that I cannot do. Sorry, my bones are fused a different way. He definitely is a Star Trek fan, and he goes to a lot of the astronaut encounters and so forth. This had a very interesting space experiment on it called the what is that called? It is a antenna, the inflatable antenna experiment. IAE, inflatable antenna experiment, where they inflated this contraption. It actually was more compact and folded out and inflated with I don't know what kind of gas, and then bounced some radio signals off of it to try to get an idea of more communication in space. This is 1996, okay, and so they're still trying to figure out a lot of things. This was halfway through the shuttle, more than halfway through our launches, as this was the 77th launch, like it is numbered. They spent 10 days in space. They were involved with electronic materials, polymers, agriculture, and biotechnology in Space Hab 4 on this mission that lasted 10 days and landed May 29th, 1996. So we go to the other launch today that Tom Usiak captured. This photograph from top on that big vehicle assembly building, and I wonder how cool would that be to be up there. at night. I'll have to ask Tom about that. But this is from on top of the VAB hand, or he probably had it on a tripod on there. STS-101. All right, and STS-101 flew for the first time. Here's a shot that Tom did not take, but it flew for the first time with this. Whoop, let me go back that way. With the glass cockpit shown behind me here. They took Atlantis out of service for, let's see, it was out of service from 1997. Yeah, STS-86, when it transferred Mike Wolf for David Wolf. That was in May here, and that's the mission that I showed you in September. Anyway, Atlantis was sent back to Palmdale for remodeling and fitting with the new glass cockpit, completely electronic keyboards and touch screens, and completely up to date. So that flew for the first time in the year 2000. And STS-101 was the 21st flight for Atlantis, and it flew for 12 more times with this glass cockpit. So a couple notes on, here's the crew. All right, the crew included James Halsell's the commander, Scott Horowitz, I think he later became a commander as the pilot, Jeffrey Williams, James Voss, Susan Helms, Yuri Yursevich is the Russian in the middle, and Mary Ann Weber is the other lady. Mary Ann Weber's on the left in the photograph. Oh, I'm not showing you the photograph, duh. There's the photograph. Okay, Marty, hit me over the head. There we have the crew there, and of note, 2 women. Susan Helms is on the right, and Mary Weber's on the left there. And that's, Marty, their logo there in the middle is not one of my favorite ones. I think it's dominated too much by the names of the astronauts on there. It's got the Mir space station up there. No, I'm sorry. It's got that's what the International Space Station looked like. Still thinking of the Mir mission, sorry. Because this was before the Mir was continuously occupied. That was started in November 2000 when an American and two cosmonauts were sent up there on a Soyuz spacecraft to dock with it. There was 2 more shuttles that visited and added to the space station. This group basically took up there the 2 different cranes. Okay, let's look at that. Let's not look at that. Oh, I got the glass cockpit. There is Jim Voss on an EVA with a Russian built crane called Strela. They put that on the Unity pressure adapter. They replaced a faulty antenna, installed several handrails and a camera cable during an EVA up there. And over the course of 3 days, inside, they installed 4 batteries and associated electronics. They put 10 new smoke detectors in the Russian Zarya module and a new communications memory unit for them in there. So more than 3,000 pounds of clothes, tools, can openers, they mentioned, sewing kits, trash bags, a treadmill, an exercise bike, an IMAX film camera. All this stuff was stowed, and the ISS was boosted up to 225 miles, orbiting the Earth every 90 minutes, 16 times a day, getting ready in May for the permanent occupancy, where Bill Shepard was the American commander of that in November, our first STS-1 Expedition 1 crew. So a couple notes here as we're looking back to the glass cockpit here, Marty. Let me get off there a second. Some things you didn't know about STS-101 Atlantis was that it took other things up there you don't think about. A docking mechanism, water, film, and videotape for documentation. We're still shooting film in 22 years ago. Office supplies and personal items, all right, medical supplies, a formaldehyde monitor kit, in a passive dosimetry system. All right. But what is pointed out here, though this was in 2000, the year 2000, all right, before the Columbia disaster in 2001, the mission almost had a Columbia disaster. A damaged tile seam caused a breach on re-entry of this on May 29th, which allowed superheated gas to enter the left wing during re-entry. Sound familiar? The gas did not penetrate deeply, and the damage was repaired before Atlantis flew again, of course. But had it penetrated more deeply, the shuttle would have been destroyed with that wing coming off, like happened with Columbia. So there was a lot of lessons learned after this mission on this. When they say a breach along a seam in the wing, I'm not sure exactly what that means, Marty, but those heat tiles, have different spacings and so forth. But another close call, as there were 4 or 5 close calls that did not lead to disasters. But everyone that worked on the shuttle assured me and has reiterated time and time again that when Endeavour came down 11 years ago to end its flight, and then July was the final flight of Atlantis and the last shuttle to fly, that Atlantis, Endeavour, and Discovery before it were about as near perfect as you could get a complicated machine like this. And what a shame it was that we didn't keep one of them, is my editorial comment on that. Marty, what have we got going from our friends in Cyber World there to say hi to? We hope that you can all watch the launch coming up here in about an hour or so. It'll be on NASA TV, okay? And because it is a NASA and American money has gone into this mission. NASA TV won't always have a SpaceX launch on there, particularly the Starlink satellites. You have to go to SpaceX website for that. But we've got Mark Usiak and Larry Pushker's watching, of course. Dave Stange, thank you very much for that, for watching. Hello, Ashley Kendrick. Hope you're enjoying our grandbaby together this weekend. Love the pictures that you post, of course, there in Tennessee. We have Chalid Zan is watching us. Paul Forrester, Yahari Renovales. I don't know how to say these names, Marty. I am the worst pronouncer. Renovales, okay. Yaharani Renovales. Thank you very much for watching. And Dave Stange's asking about T-shirts, and we're trying to find time to get those shirts out there with 3 full-time people and a couple part-timers here running our museum. Not had time to address that, folks, but we got some T-shirts. We'll get something together for you here and try to maybe promote that tomorrow when we expect to have Triple T here. I talked to Travis Todd Thompson, our White Room lead, and to see if he'll be able to. He's better. He's getting well. He's been working at his other job. So we hope to have Tales from the White Room tomorrow with Triple T Thompson, because I skipped an astronaut birthday today, the 67th birthday of Pierre Thouet. Happy birthday to you, born in Groton, Connecticut today in 1955. We will talk about him tomorrow with Travis Thompson when you join us to see Stay Curious. So thank you, everybody, for watching today. Hope that you enjoy the launch remotely. I'm going to walk over to Spaceview Park, and I mean walk. It's just 3 blocks away. Enjoy a little Florida humidity and see if the launch goes on time with a lot of other rocket hobos over there. So if you're in Titusville, come over and join me. If you're not, make a trip to come to the Florida coast and enjoy everything here, including our wonderful nonprofit, the American Space Museum. You won't regret the visit. We've got artifacts here that no one else has, I guarantee you. So Marty, thank you for everything today. Thank you, Karen Conklin, for our executive director. I will make one little announcement that I'll do again tomorrow. Our board of directors, through Karen Conklin's urging, we're going to take our temporary gallery that we have the Hubble telescope stuff in and make that a permanent Stay Curious gallery. And that just floors me because Marty and I started this with Karen on a cell phone, and now they want to give us a whole room, basically because where we're at in our conference room, where some of you have been, we can't do too much conferencing in here because of all of our Stay Curious equipment. So great things happening to reach out to you, and that's what we want to do. Marty, thank you for your work, and thank you for everybody that helps us here at the American Space Museum. We can't wait to see you at Triple T tomorrow to bridge the space between us.